What's happening, YouTube? Let me drop this on your dome piece on your way home from Jones Beach real quick. So I'm pretty sure by now everyone has seen the trailer for Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed Shadows, where they're casting Yasuke, they're casting Yasuke right here as the main character, and many people are pretty much torn up about it, like it broke their immersion or something. And it's because of this little thing right here. They're feeling a little that right there. All right, so I want to break down what I've been seeing from not only videos but also in comment sections. And I've watched more videos than what I'm about to talk about, but I've watched videos, and these 4 channels and specifically said 4 different things that to me come together to explain what I'm about to explain about how if you're upset about Yasuke, you're really pretty much just racist. All right, so let's get it started. All right, so the first person that one of the first people I listened to was Run JD Run. He I haven't watched his channel in forever, but I still remembered he was around. So I saw one of his videos about the Assassin's Creed thing, and I picked up a couple of things from him on his own account, and that is that while he was working with Ubisoft at one point in time on this game, on the release of this game, Tom Clancy The Elite Squad, he said that they had racist imagery of, like, in this game the enemy were the protesters, and they had the Black Freedom Fighting Fist as their banner, or as their logo for these enemies, the protesters. And he even went in detail and looked up what the fist represents and whatnot, and it pretty much represents Black freedom fighters. Now it's since been kind of colonized to mean everybody else's struggle, but it doesn't mean everybody else's struggle or oppression in general. It only means Black American freedom fighters. So that's why I put Black freedom fighters. It's not about anybody else. It's nobody else. It's only for Black people. It started with Black people, for Black people. It is a Black people thing, and therefore it is the imagery or a symbolism of Black people. And what they did was very racist towards Black people. And the thing is that although that's what they did, although that was what they chose to do, there was absolutely no outrage about this. But then now we come down to Assassin's Creed Shadows. They say, let's make a positive image of an African, symbolically Black male person and a Japanese woman. And now there's all the outrage. So what I'm saying is that for some reason there was no outrage when they were being racist towards Black people, and now they have all the outrage now that they're showing Black people in a positive light, which is one of the reasons why we say that if you're upset about Yasuke, you're racist. And next, I watched a video by Lil Bill where he was going in on people who were upset about Yasuke, although he was a real person and all this other stuff. And he gave another unique angle. And he said that white people kind of see themselves, see Japanese people as kind of like NPCs in their life story, which is they seem kind of like an RPG where they're the main character. Meaning that they don't see Japanese people as their own main characters in their own story. They only see them as NPCs in their story as a white American or as white people in general. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense, because there's so much the weebs and all this other stuff in these people who are so heavily into the culture, going to Japan and just acting a fool or whatnot, because they see Japanese people as just NPCs in their own little world. So I thought that was a very interesting take. And then he said that Asians may not be more upset about the fact that they chose a black samurai. They're probably more upset at the fact that they only get to be samurai. And now down here as well, the black Hokage, he also said something. He was reading an article by Matt Kim or something, where he was talking about let's not pretend that him being black, let's not pretend that you all of a sudden now care about Asian representation in media. And it's like, yeah, it's like Asian representation in media hasn't always been the best representation. And it's like now that they put a black man in an Asian typical role, it's like now white people don't get to live their, fantasy where they get to kind of see themselves in this character, because they can't see themselves in a black person. They can see themselves in a Japanese person because they use them pretty much only as a vessel for them to kind of get for them to like live their life and escape or something. But they can't see black people as a vessel because they just don't want black people to be a vessel. And then Dante came up with some good points as well, where he said that this isn't the blackface or blackwashing or the whole DEI thing that, all of these, people are often talking about. And I'm like, we all hate, forced black inclusion and see it as a pandering that it is. We do. However, Yasuke is a real person, so it isn't unnecessary black inclusion like how a lot of people are making it out to be. And so because of this, that lets me know that they completely missed the point. And they thinking that, he was just forced in there. He was a part of history at that time in which the game is set. So if they wanted to use him, they can and they could. And it's not forced because he was actually there. It's not unnecessary like if they make Johnny Storm black in Fantastic Four, although he was normally white. Like, that's like forcing it. But in this case, they did not force it because he was actually there in that time in history. Now was he a samurai? Y'all can debate that all day long, but it doesn't matter because he was there during that time. So if you're really upset with them not doing blackface, like, is it pandering? A little bit, yeah. But the thing is that at least they can do it, and it's not a forced thing because he was actually there. And if you're only looking at it and saying that it is forced, that lets us know that you're we're one of those right there. All right. So anyway, now we come over to TBH. He had some unique he had a unique point of view on this as well, and he was breaking down how when you look at Assassin's Creed is not about being a brute, right, or being a samurai, right? Assassin's Creed is about being a what? An assassin. An assassin. That is what it's about. And if you look at it, Naoe is the real assassin in the Assassin's Creed game. She's the only one who really does the stealth. Yasuke is just a brute. And not only is he a brute, he is her brute. Not only is he a brute, but he is also her brute at the same time, which means he's pretty much still being a second fiddle to her. He gets to be a main character, but however, the real main character, the real assassin, is a Japanese person. So I'm like, if that's really what you guys are complaining about, it's like, oh wow, what is like she can't be a ninja or something, even though they did have female ninjas, like she can't be one or something. She can't represent for the Japanese people. Like, it only has to be a Japanese male, like we've seen 1,000 times already. Like, we've already seen it 1,000 times. And like I said, he was reading the article where they was talking about in here, where it's like they've already, like, if you want to see a Japanese person as a samurai, you don't have to look very far. So that's why it's like that's not the real problem. And then when you look at this, it's Assassin's Creed, not Samurai Creed. So Yasuke is not even really the main character. He's not even really the main character. And these people are still upset about it. They're still mad about it. They just don't want to have to look through the lens of anybody that's black, because they're saying, like, also what TBH was saying, he's saying that like people would often say, oh, we don't mind a black character as long as they serve the story. And this is another thing that I came up to outside of even hearing him say that. And that is that apparently in Neo or Neo 2 or whatever, which one of them, I don't play them, but Yasuke was actually in that game, but he was a non-playable character. He was an NPC. He was an NPC in their RPG, and they were the main character. Something that Lil Bill was talking about on his channel. So the thing is that when it comes to not even just this, but in media in general, what you often see is that they don't like black people being the main person unless it's a black main in a black story. They don't like it when a black person is the main character in a non-black story. Because then it's like, I have to see my whole point of view through your lens. I have to look at it how you want to and how you see it. And I don't like how you see it. So I don't want to see it. So I don't want to participate. So I don't want to watch it. And if you're forcing me to do it because I wanted something from you, I wanted this samurai game for so long, this samurai Assassin's Creed or this Japanese Assassin's Creed for so long, and now that you finally giving it to me, you're giving it to me with a black person, and now I have to look through their lens and care about what they have to talk about, then it's going to make them very upset and very angry and very mad, which means that they're so now they have to actually be around and be okay with looking through the lens of a black person. And specifically a black male, which they really don't like. But like, yeah, so he was alluding to the fact that, and this is what I believe, is that these people who are always complaining about black representation, they're only doing that because what Walter Mosley said. I took his master's class for being an author. He's an author. And he said, if you are not written in fiction, you are not written in history, which shows why there's such a concerned effort in order to keep black people out of media if it does not serve a narrative that, these people don't want to see. And this doesn't just mean that they are white. This can be white, Asian, Hispanic. It could even be black, honestly. It could be a little Uncle Ruckus in there. I saw a video from one of them Uncle Ruckuses, one of them Uncle Toms about this situation. He's definitely under this category too, because he in there too. But so Walter Mosley saying that if you're not written in the fiction, you're not written in the history. What I notice is that when it comes to fiction, they don't like black people being in any lead position, and that's because they believe that black people should only be a supporting character in their story. They should only ever be a supporting character in their story. And what they mean by that is that they want black people to only be seen as pretty much a slave to their story, a slave to their narrative. They don't want us to get out of a subservient role. Like, we could be in charge of our own thing over there, which doesn't include anybody else, but the moment it starts to include other people, now it's a problem, because it's like, no, we don't want to see you as someone who leads other groups of people and other races of people. We don't want to see that. And that's because they're racist. So, maybe you think differently. I'll be willing to debate you in the comments if you got any problems. I'll see you in the comments if you don't agree, or if you want to come up against this or have some other stuff that can show me, logically how, everything that I'm saying is, completely incorrect or whatnot, because it has nothing to do with the fact of whether Yasuke was a samurai or not, but it has everything to do with the fact that a lot of these racist people or racist collaborators don't want to see a black person in any sort of high position where they are a main character and they are in charge of something, especially in charge of something that they want to fantasize themselves being in. Well, the thing is that you still have a Japanese person that you can play, but I guess if you hate women, then I guess that's a problem too. All right, but yeah, let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel and all that other good stuff, and I'll holler at y'all on the next one, which is going to be pretty soon. All right, peace.